What's going on, everybody? My name's Danny, aka Captain Sin. This is Chattin With Captain, recorded live at twitch.tv/thecaptainsin. My guest tonight is William Control. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic, sir.
I appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
I usually ask the same question to everybody at first. What was the first album from your childhood/teenage years, what have you, that inspired you through your life and that you can still listen to this day and be inspired by?
Shit. And there's a few records that inspired me. Well, that's a good question. I mean, the first one was Nevermind by Nirvana. And I kind of listen to that now, and I'm like, I'm like an old man now. Yeah, I'll go with Nevermind.
That works.
Still a good album. It still holds up.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, it feels like a lot of bands today are trying to go for that retro sound, and like synthwave is a huge thing now. That's coming back,
Yeah,
huge. So I don't know if it's just because there's just nothing new coming out that anyone enjoys, or what do you think?
I mean, I think probably it's. I mean, we're in an era now. Like the mid 2000s were really the last era where things were different. If that makes sense.
Right.
You know, people like bands and artists now are kind of. We live in such a time where we have access to all this stuff that, you know, if you want to be in an indie rock band, you just, you know, type in indie music on Spotify, and then you can just listen to a million indie bands. Whereas, you know, if it was the 90s, if Kurt Cobain showed up in the 90s to band practice and he was wearing bell bottoms and a collared shirt, you know, and he wanted to play funk, those guys would have laughed in his fucking face. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like each decade had their own very distinct sound, and that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh,
because
100%.
access to music, you have access to all music at all times, no matter what. So if I want to be in a fucking straight edge hardcore band, I mean, I could pull up 5,000 straight edge hardcore bands and just have that shit cycle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
it's a really weird time.
Yeah. The internet has definitely changed everything when it comes to music, especially like the need for labels, because
Yeah.
it back in the day it seemed like labels were really necessary, but now with the internet, anybody with the talent can become huge on their own just from the internet alone.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What was the label for? The label was to provide the artist who made the music with a way of distribution, right? So they had a press department, they have distribution department, they have artwork, they have everything that an artist needs. So the artist just, you know, made a song, made an album, gave it to the record company, and they pressed it, distributed it, and sold it, and made all the money. And that's totally different now, because we have computers that can make music in our bedrooms. These kids are making songs in their bedrooms that sound better than, you know, a studio that costs $1,000 a day.
Right. And then vinyl has come back like crazy lately. Do you think that's more of just people want a physical thing in their hand as opposed to just listening to everything digitally?
I mean, I think it just kind of goes in waves, you know? Like vinyl, when the change happened from, you know, it went vinyls, then cassettes were big, and then CDs were big, and then digital happened, right? So we were like, oh, I don't want to have any records. And most people are like that. I don't want to own any records. I don't want to carry around a CD player.
Right.
I love that my phone can hold any song on planet Earth and I can just look it up. And I think you're right. People like vinyl because they like a physical product. They like it because it's big. You know, it has big artwork. It's tangible.
Right.
It's really expensive to produce, though, because, you know, all the manufacturing plants went out of business. There's only a few vinyl manufacturers left in America.
Especially with now with COVID, everything is even worse because yeah. How has COVID been for you?
COVID's been great, man.
Nice.
I mean, I was doing a project last year. I mean, I made a record during COVID. It hasn't affected me at all. It's great.
It seems like there's a lot of people who it was either really bad for them or really amazing because they've had enough time to really dive into whatever their passion is at the time.
Yeah.
Do you do any collecting of any kind?
I mean, these days I really just collect bullets and guns. That's pretty much it.
That seems like a pretty big thing you're gonna want to have around just in case.
Yeah, well, if the events of last year showed us one thing, is that no one's coming to save us.
Nope. Yeah.
We got to protect ourselves.
I feel like COVID, on top of the election, on top of everything else, has actually showed the true side of a lot of people that they tried to hide away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And social media is the worst part of all of that. I feel like social media is a gift for a lot of things, but it's a huge curse for a lot more. Do you try to stay away from social media? I mean, you use it, but do you are you one of the constant scrollers, or do you stay away from it for most of it?
No, I'd rarely post. I have a life. I have, things that I need to accomplish. And, I don't sit on my phone and just scroll through social media and get offended by what fucking some asshole said somewhere that I don't give a fuck about.
Right. Well, we can jump into that as well. The whole cancel culture aspect of life now, which I feel like that it started with a positive message, to actually help people who actually had shit happen to them. That's a positive thing, actually help these people. But then it dove down to the point where people were just pissed at other people and then started making shit up about them. And then it just took away from whatever positivity that it might have had.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with that. I talked about that in these videos that I made. I mean, it did start out as a noble thing, especially the Me Too movement. But I think even more than that, really just the Me Too movement included, but just cancel culture as a whole. It doesn't matter if it's an allegation of sexual misconduct, or if it's just, someone made a joke 10 years ago.
Right.
And now we're going to ruin their life. We're going to get them fired. I don't know what planet these people think they're on, where they think it's some, noble act that they're doing. We have got to get this man fired. He said a bad word. Mm-hmm. You're a fucking loser.
Exactly.
Get off the internet. Go make something.
It's a lot of times it's they expect a golden sticker because they accomplished something, and it's no, you can't. No, that's not how it works.
I mean, it's the worst of society, and what it's done is wrecked a lot of lives and left a lot of people in its wake for no reason at all, other than the fact that someone just got offended. In my case, it was, some ex-girlfriends that fucking didn't like me anymore or were pissed about something, and they just made up a bunch of bullshit. Right. Which did a lot of damage to my life.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
For sure. And the ramifications of it, I mean, I can sit back now and I can really be grateful for what happened, because of a lot of positive things did happen. I realized who my real friends were, which is a big one. I realized that a lot of people in my life were fucking snakes. And the people that were in my life that really did love me for who I am.
Right. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Huge.
It was really easy to find out who were my real friends were. Really easy. Overnight, I knew. Okay. And the most terrible thing about it is that kind of stuff, that kind of false allegation bullshit, it doesn't help you. You look like a fucking asshole because I exposed your lies. It doesn't help the girl that actually got raped by whoever.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it makes it so those like real victims don't want to stand up and say anything.
Right.
Like it just did a lot of damage to, you know, women in general. Like
100%.
the
Yeah.
whole fucking movement, just
Right.
to the detriment.
And it's
But-
like you can't. You want to take every allegation that comes out seriously because you want to believe that somebody would be telling the truth about something like that, because it would be super fucked up to lie about something like that happening to you. But at the same time, nowadays anymore, you literally have to question every single allegation that comes out, and then
Absolutely.
it makes you look like a dickhead to a lot of people for questioning these people because you don't want to be that guy. But anymore, it feels like you absolutely have to question every single thing because there's a lot of fucked up people in the world who are literally just trying to get themselves over by ruining someone else's life.
Yeah, that's exactly the truth. I mean, I remember a time, you know, when I was younger, you'd meet someone and they'd be like, "Oh, this guy did this thing to me and he raped me," and you're just like, "Let's go, let's go fuck him up," you know. And now you're just like, really? You know, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
It's like it's fucked, dude. It's really fucked. I mean, I don't understand why, but I guess people are still trying to Me Too people, and every time I see one, I'm just like, okay.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, call the cops.
Yes.
If someone assaults you, call the cops. Call the cops. Charge them.
Yes.
Show the cops the evidence. I mean, on the other hand, you know, the other side of the coin, like, yeah, I'm sure that, you know, some of these women were probably too scared to speak up at the time, and that movement gave them the opportunity and the courage to speak out finally. And maybe some of them got justice, but a lot of them were fucking just miserable cunts that had nothing better to do with their lives.
Right.
That's the reality.
I know, I think it was Monday, the dudes who made the Leaving Neverland movie about Michael Jackson and how he did all this shit had all of their cases thrown out. Every one of them. They said none of this shit happened. It was done and over with. But the fact that these guys actually, they put a full-blown movie out about this shit and none of it was true, it just shows this magnitude that this stuff can actually get to.
Yeah, it's insane. It's fucking insanity.
It is.
And I'm not sure really what the cause and effect is going to be, but it's not going to be good.
No.
You know what I mean? Because what it was, man, I'll tell you what it was. It really had less to do with people speaking out and being brave, and it had everything to do with journalists and magazines and, you know, newspapers trying to get clicks, to get more ad revenue, because if it bleeds, it leads.
Yes.
As they say, you know, and those stories were like, you know, who we're gonna get next, who's gonna be the next person we get, and it was one after the other, and they were getting shared and they were huge, and now these people are just like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
And so they don't write about it.
Right. Yeah. And that's when I announced that I was going to have you on, I had people saying, "Oh, are you trying to get like some clicks out of this?" I'm like, "No, that's not. No, why? That's fucking stupid. Why would you do that?"
Well, if you were trying to do that, you would have got me on a couple of years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's now been 3 years since those articles came out. It's been, I guess, about 2 years since I dispelled all those bullshit allegations.
And people are still fucking talking about it.
Well, I mean, there's like 3 people that still talk
Right.
about it. Everyone else is like, oh, okay.
Right. And a lot of them, it seems like a lot of them don't, they lack the ability to revoke their statements, and they lack the ability to admit that they're wrong.
Oh.
And that becomes a huge issue as well.
I mean, dude, I really don't understand it. I don't get it. You know, you say, okay, there's a girl who claimed that I anally raped her. Okay, sure, go ahead and say that. When I come out with the evidence, you know, the contract that she authored and that she signed, saying, Oh, you can do anything you want to me. You can do this. I'm your fucking filthy whore, blah, 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 blah. When I came out with that, this is what she said. Here's a consent form that she signed. She just continued to be like, block anyone that said anything negative about her. And she just still continues to, well, he raped my abuser. These people are fucking delusional.
Yeah.
They're delusional. It's the reality.
I feel like that's a big thing that happens with a lot of these cases, is that it's two consenting adults. One of those consenting adults realizes that it's just a one-night thing. The other consenting adult thinks that it's going to be a relationship and that you guys are going to be together forever. And when that doesn't happen, they get vengeful about it and try to ruin someone's entire life over it, which is ridiculous.
Well, you know, set 9 years ago, 9 years later.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's fucking ridiculous. The whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. What it did was, okay, they got the media to print these stories, right? Okay, the media did that. They were like, oh, here's another one. We got another one, another juicy scoop. We got juicy scoop for you. You know, fucking me and my sex cult, my emo sex cult, which is special. And you know, that all happened. That all came out, and I took a break from social media, and then I would, you know, post something. You know, it's like maybe a year later, I would just post something, and it would just be like tons of people like, fuck this dude, fuck you, fuck him, fuck, and I got sick of it. And so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I got nothing left to lose. I'm just gonna tell the truth.
Right. And
I sat down with my phone and my computer, and I chronologically archived all the shit that they said. And I said, you know, here's the article. This is what they said. Here's the reality. This is what she actually said. This is what actually happened. And after that, man, I swear to God, I got thousands of fucking messages from people who were like, I'm sorry that I believed these stories. I'm sorry that I was caught up in believing all women. And I'm really sorry.
Right. And a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people don't want to admit that, because I can understand they don't want to take away from any positivity that like a Me Too movement had left or anything like that. I could totally, like, I can understand that. You want it to be positive, but people are fucking terrible. And that's just it now. People are fucking terrible, and you have to realize that people are terrible.
A lot of people were really fucking pissed, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, I cannot believe that these people did this. I can't believe that your friends at magazines wrote this shit. You know, like, it was fucked up.
All to just get themselves 5 seconds of clout for 5 seconds and a couple of clicks. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Clicks, man. That's what it is. Clicks and advertisement, dude. It's fucking sinister.
It's absolutely insane.
I mean, from a free market capitalist standpoint, I'm like, all right.
Right.
Good for you. Like, you found a formula that got you paid. My hat's off to you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect that to happen, really. And I didn't expect it to happen to so many people. I mean, I know a lot of people that shit happened to, and they're just like assed out.
It's crazy. And what people seem to they don't take into consideration, it seems like to me personally, that these people that are being attacked who actually didn't do anything, their whole lives are being ruined, because every single day they've got hundreds of people constantly sending them messages. Oh, I hope you fucking die. You're a piece of shit and everything. And what a lot of people don't seem to realize is this is literally tearing people's, like, their mentality is just getting fucked up because of somebody who's just trying to get some clout.
Yeah. I mean, I'm luckier than most.
Right.
You know, luckily I was able to, get through that. Like, the most important shit that happened in my personal life was, I was able to get through that and stay sober. And once I finally got to the point where I was like, fuck it, I've got nothing left to lose. Let's just tell everyone the truth. And once I was able to get to that point and show that this was bullshit with facts,
right,
that's when I think it was about a year into it. Yeah, it was like a year later that I was like, fuck this, I'm fucking done with this.
Right.
That's when I kind of just realize that, you know, none of this shit really matters. Like when it was happening, man, I thought, when this happens to people, our initial thought, when people get canceled, what we think is, oh my God, the world is ending. This is the most, this is the end of the world. Because, you know, we're so fucking selfish, and we live in our own heads, and we think everybody, but in reality, man, no one gives a fuck.
No.
Like when I walk outside and I go down, you know, to the fucking meeting, or, you know, like, no one gives a fuck.
It's,
you know, like
yeah, it's
everyone
crazy.
else is thinking about themselves.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, that once I got to that point, man, things started to get a lot better for me mentally, you know, spiritually.
Right.
And, you know, fucking I'm pretty lucky in the fact that it actually improved my life. Which is so fucked. It's so fucked up, but it definitely improved my life. I'm
Like,
much
you feel
happier.
stronger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely like, and it's like, it seems like society today has such a small, like, they'll forget something 5 seconds later.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they'll okay, we're gonna cancel this person, and then they'll fucking a month later be like, oh shit, I forgot that they even did anything, because it becomes the flavor of the week at that point.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous in every way.
I mean, it's just comedy at this point.
It is.
Every time I see someone get canceled, I'm like, they're not canceled in my house. Like,
Right.
like Marilyn Manson just got canceled just like a couple months ago.
Right.
Marilyn Manson, I was for sure, I was like, this dude's gonna get Me Too'd. When that shit first started, I was like, this dude's gonna get Me Too'd. And it took him a couple years to Me Too him.
Right.
And now, at this point, I'm like, whatever. Not canceled in our house.
Right. And most people, like, I don't know if it's as much the celebrity factor that makes people kind of just say, oh, well, you know, whatever. Or maybe that has something to do with it. Would you think?
No. What do you mean?
Like, as far as just forgetting that anything happened.
I don't know, man. I think there's an agenda. There's some
Right.
sort of agenda.
Right.
Like, why didn't Marilyn Manson get canceled 2 years ago?
Right.
Or three years ago, when all that shit was like at its height? You know?
Right.
Why'd they wait until a couple months ago?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
fucking weird. What's the agenda? Did he have some new record coming out? Did he fuck someone's girlfriend? Like what? I mean, I'm sure he fucked someone's girlfriend.
Right.
But I'm just, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just like, what's the agenda here? Because, dude, there's always an agenda.
And it's like it does. Somebody in the chat said, I hate that people jumped on the Marilyn Manson thing, and it's what it was. No one gave a shit until it became the popular thing to hate on him. And just a week before that, they might have listened to Marilyn Manson and not thought fucking anything past it.
Well,
Because,
dude, I mean, this guy's he's fucking Marilyn Manson.
yeah.
Like, Christians were saying that shit about Marilyn Manson in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time. Like, I have a hard time. I read the allegations about him. I was like, really? It just seems like, well, yeah, whatever.
Right. And that's another one of those things, like, until somebody, like, if they're in court and the court says, yes, this fucking happened and you were guilty.
Yep.
That point, okay,
Yeah.
it's out there. But until then, it's like, you know.
Like fucking, what's the dude from, Lost Prophets? What's that fucking guy's name?
Oh,
Ian Watkins.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was fucked
That dude
up.
fucked a baby, son.
Yeah. That shit's
That dude
just
was
out of
like a
hand.
legitimate monster, and he should be in prison forever.
Yes.
Fuck me. And I toured with that guy. Like, I knew him.
Right.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. But yeah, I mean, if this shit is a reality, call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens, it's terrible, call the cops.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stop. What are you waiting 10 years for?
Right. It's
What the fuck is going on?
Exactly.
Oh, I was just too scared. No, if someone beats you up, call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that difficult.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, how many people knew about a lot of it too and just let it slide because they didn't want to be the one that came out and said anything.
Oh, are you talking about Ian Watkins?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. I don't know, man. I mean, from the surface, from what the interactions that I had with him, I mean, he was like pretty chill, like
Right.
nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't call him up, you know, hey,
Right, yeah.
Merry Christmas, dude. I wasn't that good of friends with him, but, you know, we toured. Oh, how was the show tonight? Cool, yeah, it was great. Good job. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Dude, I don't know if anyone really knew the depths of the depravity in that dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's just fucked up on a new level of fucked up. Like,
Yep.
it's insane.
But you know what the funniest thing about the shit that happened to me was the level of dissonance. Like the people, you know, I have this project, William Control. I sing about BDSM, I sing about sex and fucking all this shit, and all these articles came out and people were like, oh my God, did you read about this guy? He has sex and he whips people, and oh my God, I can't believe it. BDSM, he's so evil. Like, bitch, I've been singing about this for more than 10 years. I didn't hide it. It's on all the videos. It's in all the records. It's in all the lyrics. Like, what do you?
It's kind of all been right there out in the open, right in your face the entire time.
I'm not singing about, you know, like, you know, fucking standing on the rooftop and then fucking babies.
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
I know a lot of people are gonna ask. Once I get into questions, they're gonna ask about Aiden. That's how I first discovered you. Is that's completely in your past now, for the most part?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like.
That is my past.
That right, but there's no plans in jumping into that again.
Oh, what, to start Aiden back up?
Maybe like sometime in the future, right?
Oh, dude, we did that.
Right.
We made a record and did a tour and put it to bed.
Right. Don't let it get to that point to where it's overdone and loses all meaning.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the reality is, Aiden was a band we started when I was like young and angry and full of angst, you know, and now I have a good life. Like, I'm surrounded by love.
Right.
I listen to fucking Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley, and I got nothing to be angry about. You know, I can't go on stage like anymore. It's a young man's game.
Yeah, Aiden was a big part of my teenage years for sure. We actually met at Warped Tour one year, way back in the day.
Oh, which one? 06?
Yes, it would have been 2006. Yeah, the year that AFI was on tour.
Was I wearing the net shirt?
Actually, hold on. Let me pull this up. Everybody who's listening later on can go and check the VOD, but that's the picture. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see it.
If you look at the Twitch.
Let me look at the Twitch here. Oh shit, look at that.
Yeah. That was one of the shittiest digital cameras anybody's ever owned in their life. But
dude, look how much better I look now. Bro, what the fuck was wrong with me? I was like a 20-year-old vampire that looked like he was 5,000 years old.
It had to have been walking around with pants, hoodie, and a scarf on in fucking 95-degree weather. Had to have been awful.
Well, it's okay. You're right. It was awful. It was awful, but I have the whitest fucking skin on earth. I'm like the Irish. When the sun touches me, I burn.
Burn instantly.
Instantly, and I'd rather walk around just sweating with a hood on than be fucking pink.
Right.
And because when I burn, it doesn't tan.
Right.
Like it'll peel off and then I'll just
gone.
burn again.
Right.
Yep, and then I'll just burn it. It never gets tan. It sucks.
But I remember.
But also, you know, I was an edgelord.
Right. I think that was a big thing for a lot of us back then, I guess, would be the easiest way to put it. But
yep.
trying to think. There was, what was it? Taste of Chaos. I remember I saw you guys at that one. That was that like the biggest tour you guys did, as far as like arenas and everything?
Well, I mean, we did a few arena tours, but that one in particular was definitely the best.
Right.
It was one of the best tours I did.
Right.
Yeah, because it was, what was it? The Used and 30 Seconds to Mars were headlining.
And then Chiodos,
Census Fail.
Seosin.
Census Fail.
Yeah. Gosh,
And
that
there
was
another band. What's the other band? There was another band. I
Right.
don't remember.
the thing I remember
Yeah,
the thing I remember most about that tour is the way they had the stage set up, because it was on a giant fucking spinning disc thing, and they had
Yeah.
it split in the middle, so they would just spin the stage around and have every band come on within like 2 minutes of each other,
Yeah.
which was
I mean, it's production-wise, it was very efficient.
right. Do you think that touring will ever get back to the level that it was with all of the COVID shit that's going on?
I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be back in the next a year or two.
Right.
You know, soon enough, man, this shit's gonna go away, and we'll be like, oh, whatever.
Right.
It'll come back. I mean, it can't not come
Right,
back.
right.
I mean, there's already states in America, Florida, Texas. I mean, they're completely open, no masks. People are going to football games. So it kind of just depends on the state, really.
Right, right. Do you think it's too early to have like these big festivals and everything? Because I mean, there's festivals booked in like a month, I think.
I mean, I don't think it is. Fuck it.
Just do it.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. Look, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If not, fucking
Right.
good luck.
Right. Yeah.
Just let people make their own decisions, really.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
all about that freedom.
Did you get the vaccine?
No.
I did. I actually got it yesterday. And
Yeah, did you win?
Yeah.
Did you get a sucker, too?
No. I'm a little angry about that. Wish I had the lollipop with But, you know, like, they're talking about doing that COVID passport or whatever the fuck it is now, to where, like, you know, you can't fly without the vaccine or without your card and everything. And it's like, it's crazy. Like,
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
yeah.
The whole thing is crazy. The government wants to be in complete control. I think they kind of proved that they were able to be in control,
Right.
which is a little scary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you really think about it. The government's like, yeah, you have to do this, and everybody was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a scientist. I don't, you know, I don't have a degree in microbiology.
Right.
I don't really know shit about it. I mean, from what I've seen, it just seems like a bad flu, and if you don't have pre-existing conditions, like you probably survive it.
Right.
You know, I'm 39 years old. I probably just get a little sick and fight it off, and that's that.
Right,
I don't
right,
know.
right.
I mean, I know people that have had it.
Yeah.
I know people who have been in the same room with people who have had it, and it doesn't seem like the fear that the media tries to whip up matches the reality of what it actually is. Like, I'm sure it's definitely real.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not denying that.
Right, right.
But, like, am I afraid of getting it and dying? Like, no.
Right. Like, it seems like with not just media, but even with religions as well, like, keeping people in a constant state of fear is the easiest way to control people, because people who are scared are easier to control.
Yep.
And
That's exactly right.
we can jump down a religious talk if you would like, but I'm not religious at all. Like, I think it's all control based, and like, I think that people should just be able to live however the fuck they want to live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to. That's a pretty long conversation.
It is.
Really, kind of. Religion was science before science. You know, it gave us answers to questions that we had but couldn't really explain. You know, where do we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going when we die?
Right.
And I think religion gave us a lot of those answers. And as time progressed and we learned more and more, a lot of that stuff has become antiquated, and, you know, a lot of the need for religion has been removed from society, and a lot of people have turned away from God, which, I mean, I don't know, really is a good thing. I think a lot of people really should have God in their life because they're fucking assholes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
But
there are a lot of positives about religion, but it's the people that ruined it.
people ruin everything, man.
It's true. That's
I mean, I see a lot of value in what religion is, specifically Christianity, is given to you know, the Western world, the Western society. I see a lot of value in the community aspect of church. You know, where you go to church on Sunday and you see your neighbors, you meet your neighbors, you help your neighbors out because you're all in this place together worshiping the same God.
right.
But you feel this sense of, you know, belonging in your own community. So there is a lot of aspects about religion that are okay, like the wars and, you know, the stuff they've done in the name of religion is kind of suspect. I mean, we can go on and on about it all day, but like I said, that's a whole nother conversation for maybe another podcast.
Right. Do you have any favorite tour stories from over the years?
Favorite tour stories. Oh man, you know what? All right, this is okay. I'm gonna tell you a tour story, and it's the first time I've told this tour story publicly. I've told it privately a lot.
Oh, nice.
But I mean, it's been so long now, like, he probably doesn't remember me. Okay, so okay, do I just say fuck it? All right, fuck it. Aiden did a tour in 2006. We did the Hawthorne Heights tour in 2005. Then we went to England and did the Crank tour with Bullet for My Valentine. And then we came back to America and we toured with 30 Seconds to Mars. And that tour, let's see, February of 2006. Yeah, that tour, at the start of that tour was him, Jared Leto, who everybody knows. He's fucking amazing.
Right.
I was like, dude, we're touring with fucking Jared Leto from My So-Called Life. This is going to be awesome. You know, because he'd done, My So-Called Life was like huge in the 90s. I was in love with Claire Danes. I love Jared Leto.
Right.
So I did this tour. They're like, you know, we're going to put you on this tour, 30 Seconds to Mars. And they'd been a band for a while at that point, but really kind of weren't very big. We did this tour with them, and it was like 500 to 1,000 people a night. And there would be the first 3 rows of people were serious 30 Seconds to Mars fans, like diehard, echelon, we're 30 Seconds to Mars. And the rest of the audience is just there to see Jordan Catalano in real life. Like, the shows were weird, dude. Weird as fuck. And so we did that tour, and at the start of the tour, he had just filmed that video for that movie Chapter 27, where he played John Lennon's killer.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Chapman. Is that his name? Mark David Chapman?
Yeah.
And he got super fat for the tour. So when we started the tour, he was like big. He was big.
Right.
And one of the craziest things I've ever seen on a tour was that tour was, I think, 30 days long. At the start of that tour, he maybe like 190 pounds. He was big, dude, like chubby. Looked like he looked like Gerard Way. He was like pre-Black Parade Gerard Way.
Right.
And by the end of the tour, dude, he was like Jared Leto.
Oh, jeez.
And it was fucking crazy to see. I've got a couple other Jared Leto stories, but that's probably one of the craziest things I've seen on a tour. I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy things on tour, but watching somebody change his whole physique in 30 days, dude, I will never forget that as long as I live. Like,
Yeah.
145 pounds, like stone fucking, you know? What a dude.
I know that, like, that whole echelon thing, like, there's been a lot of people that have said, like, that Jared Leto has his own cult and everything.
Dude, he totally has a cult,
it's 100%.
Dude, Jared Leto has a full ass cult. Bro, you seen the pictures of him all dressed in white, looking
white
like
with the
Jesus?
beard and the yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm just waiting for that Me Too.
Jesus.
No, he's fine. That whole thing is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, but
Right.
fuck, dude, whatever.
Just have
If
fun.
motherfuckers want
Yeah.
to just follow this dude around because they think he's Jesus, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah.
Have
Have fun with it.
fun with that cult.
Exactly. All right. Does chat have any questions? Let's get into that, chat. Don't know if any have flown through yet, but this could get interesting. We'll see.
Let's see if I can pull that. Where's that chat?
Yes, ask away. There's plenty of people who were talking about questions earlier. There we go.
I don't know where to see the chat. I don't know. You just read it.
All right, there we go. Let's see. There's one. Did sleep paralysis have anything to do with Nightmare Anthology?
Wow. Yeah. Actually. Yes.
Well,
What a
there you
weird
go.
question. I haven't thought about that in shit almost 20 years.
Let's see. Will you ever tour again?
You know what? To be honest, I don't know if I will, man. I think I've done everything and seen every place and did all the, you know, sightseeing I wanted, played all the shows I wanted, played with all the bands I've wanted to play with.
Right.
Like, it's just not. I'm kind of over it.
Not the thing now. I feel like bands don't even need to tour anymore.
Not really.
Honestly, just they do it obviously. I mean, some of them have to tour to make money, somewhat, but anymore with the internet, like touring is just kind of a. Meh. Did you ever think about doing a one of those e-concert things that they've got going around right now?
Shit, I don't know, man. I mean, I might maybe do one with my acoustic guitar.
Right.
But I don't know about setting up a fucking
A full-on stage and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind. Dude, I just think that would be so weird. You're just playing to a computer, like, yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Let's see. What inspired the sound change between Conviction and Knives?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll tell you, I always wanted Aiden to. I love the Misfits and I love Metallica a whole bunch, and I always wanted them to. I always wanted to melt those sounds.
Right.
And, you know, songs you can sing along to, but still have some ripping ass guitar riffs. The problem was we were never that good at guitar. I wrote all the Aiden stuff, and I was never like, you know, Kirk Hammett. I can't do this fucking
Widdly widdlies.
I can't do any of that. So I mean, I just kind of settled for this. I don't know, sound with some riffs that are cool and you know, some sing along choruses, and so that's what I wanted Aiden to sound like. And we did Our Games Dark Oath and Nightmare Anatomy, and then we did that EP Rain in Hell. And at that time in my life, I was engaged to a girl that I was going to marry. I was super happy. Things were going really well. And I wanted to make a fucking arena rock album I wanted to make a really big rock album rather than just like a punk album.
Right.
So I changed. Part of it was that I was really happy in my life.
Right.
And so Conviction came out, and you know, a lot of people were like, fuck these guys. And then, you know, I broke up with my fiance and some other shit happened, and I got real fucking pissed. And then I made Hate Culture in 2008, and immediately, once I was done with Hate Culture, I immediately started writing Knives. And Knives, the reason for the sound change is that Conviction was recorded. Victory spent $100,000. Our record advance was $100,000. Right. So we spent $100,000 in a fucking huge studio in Seattle, and we paid this fucking producer. I think we paid him like 50 grand of the 100,000.
Oh, geez.
To literally sit on the couch and say, "Yeah, cool, do it again." For 6 weeks, I watched this motherfucker make $50,000 on the couch doing nothing. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to record these albums from now on. So when we got the budget for Knives, I took the money, I bought some shit that I needed I already had a studio. That's where I made Hate Culture. But I upgraded everything to like Pro Tools HD and got some outboard gear and some distressors and all this shit. And I made Knives, and the reason why it sounds the way it does is because I wanted to make an album like Steve Albini, which he's the producer that made In Utero from Nirvana. And I was reading all this shit about it, and he was like, you know, we made Knives in 7 days.
Oh, wow.
So Conviction took 6 weeks to track and vocal and mix and all that. 6 full weeks in a studio that cost more than $1,000 a day. And Knives I did in my studio, my little studio, in 7 days. Jake did all the drums in 8 hours. He did 16 songs in 8 hours.
Wow.
And I would start it, he'd play the whole thing, stop it, and that's the take. There was no editing. So all the guitar, all the bass, everything is one take.
Right.
There's no punch-ins on that album. There's none of that bullshit. It was just, I'm going to play the song from beginning to end, and if I fuck it up a little bit, it's staying.
Right.
Because I'm using the live take. And we did the whole fucking album in 7 days, and that was it.
That's crazy.
And so it was like real raw, and you can kind of hear that energy in it, you know?
I think albums sound better like that. Like, you can tell when an album has been chopped up and cut up way too much.
Yeah, Conviction. Conviction's like everything's perfect on the beat. Everything's so produced. I was like, fuck this. Fuck paying someone 50 grand to do this shit.
Let's see. Are there going to be any more collaborations in your future?
I don't know.
Somebody said Victory fucked Aiden over, didn't they?
I think Victory fucked everybody over, dude.
That's true.
I knew I knew what I was doing, signing Victory Records.
Right.
I wasn't a naive kid. I mean, I knew when we signed to Victory Records, it was the biggest independent label in the world. On planet Earth, the biggest independent label on planet Earth. And when I signed, I knew that they were fucking Taking Back Sunday over. I knew that they had fucked Earth Crisis. I knew that they had fucked Hatebreed. I knew it. I knew they were going to take all my money, and I still signed a fucking record deal anyway because I wanted to be a part of what they were doing.
Right. And then, like, back then, it seems like you almost, I wouldn't say needed a record label, but to be able...
No, you needed...
Right.
You needed
to be able to say that you were signed to Victory kind of like was almost like a clout thing back then because Victory was so huge. And
absolutely.
To be able to be on like Warped Tour or something like that and to say, oh, I'm a Victory Records band on Warped Tour, you're almost guaranteed that a bunch of people are going to watch you instantly just because of that.
Yeah, it was a good deal. I mean, it was a shit deal, but...
Right. What was... Did you... how many years did you guys do Warped?
Well, I did it twice as Aiden and once as William Control.
Did you?
So we did it. Aiden did it in 06 and 09 after Knives came out, and then William Control did it in 2017.
Oh wow! So that was like one of the last years they actually did Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Did you? Was that a fun tour? Because I hear a lot of horror stories about Warped Tour and how like it was kind of like boring because it's so hot and miserable and.
Dude, it is fucking gnarly. The weather. I'm from the Northwest. It's pretty mild all year.
Right.
In the summer, when it gets 80, you're like, oh god, it's so hot. But driving around in the South, Texas, in fucking July, Arizona in July, bruh. But the thing that's cool about Warped Tours is not necessarily, you know, the shows are hard because it's so hot, but it's really the camaraderie and hanging out with the bands that you really like.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of fun in that regard. It's not just your typical tour where you show up to the fucking venue and you wait and you play, and like there's something to do all day long. And you get to hang out with your friends all day, and it's a pretty awesome tour. For me, the last time we did it, it actually turned out to be really great because, like William Control, we have this sort of dark aesthetic, and it's kind of dancey, nighttime, kind of sexy music.
Right.
And I'm out there playing, and it's fucking 2 p.m, and I go into Kevin Lyman's office, and I tell him, hey, man, no one likes playing last on our stage because it's, the end of the night, everyone's tired. Put me on last every night. I will close every night. I don't give a fuck. This is bullshit. I don't want to play at 3 p.m. And he was like, okay. So we started playing last on our stage, and what happened was it turned into like this fucking dance party. So all the bands, they get done with all their shit, everybody would be done, and they just come watch William Control. Nice. It was fucking awesome. So there'd be like guys from Sick of It All out there, who is one of the greatest bands ever.
Oh yeah.
And they're out there fucking dancing every night. It was I had a lot of fun.
Let's see. Who is your favorite industrial artist?
I don't like industrial. At all. I don't like industrial music at all. So none.
Huh. Okay. Do you plan on writing more books?
I don't know. Maybe.
Let's see. Did you have to shift your creative process at all when you would write for William Control and then go back to making an Aiden album?
Did I have to what, my creative process?
Did you have to shift your creative process at all, switching back and forth between Aiden and William Control stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally different project, but I didn't have to like, shift too quickly, because I would make, when I made Hate Culture, I was actually going to quit Aiden. I was like, fuck this, fuck touring, fuck all this bullshit, I'm just going to sit in the studio and make albums. And I made that album, and then I decided, well, fuck, I'll make another Aiden album. And so after I toured, and after I kind of, I was ready, then I started making the Aiden album. So it wasn't like, I don't make a William Control song one day and then make an Aiden song the next day.
Right.
It just kind of, when I'm done doing the William Control stuff, then I would get into the mindset and then do an Aiden album. But I did that back to back. So I would do William Control, then I would do Aiden, then William Control, then Aiden.
Would you say you enjoy doing the William Control stuff more?
I mean, it's different. I definitely enjoy it now more.
Right.
I've always enjoyed it.
Right.
I enjoyed Aiden too, man. I mean, that band was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
We were fucking awesome.
Yeah. I was a huge Aiden fan growing up. Because I was the one that was at the almost completely Catholic school who tried to wear eyeliner and nail polish to school, and it didn't work out all that fucking well. Let's see. Oh yeah, it was fucking terrible. Our school, it was so crazy. It wasn't a Catholic school, but every time that church would be in, they would bus the kids from the school to the church to go to mass during the day during school hours.
Huh.
Which was weird as fuck for a school to do that wasn't actually a Christian school.
Where do you live?
I live in the fucking middle of Ohio.
All right.
But yeah, it was strange for sure.
That is strange. It was a government. It was a public school.
Public school, yes.
Huh.
And they would have what they would call release time, and they would bus the kids to the church to do church stuff, and then anybody who didn't go just went to like study hall.
Oh, weird.
It's crazy to think about.
Well, it's crazy that we all kind of have this different experience in school.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every region is different.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even know. Like the first time I read Catcher in the Rye, I must have been 12 or 13, and I didn't even know that private schools or prep schools even existed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there's some in Washington, but I had never seen one or met a kid that was from a prep school. And then, like Kenny, my bass player, he fucking went to a prep school. And I was like, whoa, dude, what? Yeah. The little jackets,
Let's see. If you were ever to tour again, who would you like to tour with?
I don't know. Fucking Lady Gaga.
There you go. Top 5 favorite musicians right now.
Oh, right now? Let's see. Sam Cooke, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Cash, and fucking me.
You got to be your own favorite musician, 100%.
Fuck yeah, dude. I listen to me all the time.
Let's see. Ask him if he'll ever come to Brazil. That would have to be the touring thing.
I went to Brazil, bro. You missed out. Where were you?
You missed it.
You missed it.
I already kind of asked this earlier, but what music inspired you when you were growing up?
I mean, when I was a kid, like the first band that really, really inspired me was Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Smells Like Teen Spirit came out in '91, so I was like nine. I was like nine years old. So in that album, it was the first time that I was like, oh, fuck music.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I listened to a lot of the grunge shit, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, you know, Alice in Chains. And then in 1994, punk rock happened. And that really fucking changed my life. You know, Green Day put out Dookie.
Oh, yeah.
Out Come the Wolves from Rancid came out. Smash from Offspring came out. I mean, dude, there were so many fucking records that came out that year that are huge. 16 Stone by Bush came out.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the list is, like, there's so many. And that year in particular, I discovered Green Day. Because I went to this, like, show the radio station was doing. And they were giving out sample CDs, and it had fucking Basket Case on it. And I listened to that fucking over and over and over. And so that band was really big for me. And then once I discovered, that shit hit the mainstream, then I started reading the booklets, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Green Day would like to thank fucking NoFX. And, you know, then I was like, oh shit, who's this? NoFX.
Right.
Oh my god, Punk and Drublic came out that year. Oh, is this Bad Religion? Bad Religion released Stranger Than Fiction that year. Like, it was a crazy year for punk albums.
Absolutely nuts.
So that, and then I was already playing guitar, so that's when I was like, oh my god, I gotta be. And then I discovered the Misfits.
Oh, yeah.
And life changed forever.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands of all time. 100%. Like, I've got Misfits tattoos everywhere. Like, yeah, 100%.
Me too, bro.
What inspired you to get into, like, I wouldn't say, I guess, the goth culture? When did that first kick in for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, Misfits were one of my favorite bands. You know who else was one of my favorite bands? Even before I discovered the Misfits, I discovered a band called The Damned. My brother used to watch this show called The Young Ones, which is a British sitcom about these 4 fucking stupid college kids. And they used to have bands on the show. So, like, you know, they do their sitcom, but then they'd be like, oh, we're going to listen to this band. And the band would play in their living room. And they had Madness, you know,
oh, wow.
how stupid, in the middle of some Madness, Motorhead, and The Damned was on it. And I think the first time I saw The Damned, I was a little kid, because it was just reruns they used to show on MTV in the 90s. So it's The Damned, the Misfits, David Bowie.
Right.
You know, kind of always really been a big fan of, like, the kind of dark aesthetic. And, yeah.
Do you think bands need more of a stage show? Because it seems like there's a lot of bands that kind of just stand in one place and just kind of fucking play, and they don't really do anything.
Yeah, dude, if you're in a band and you just stand there, fuck you.
Right.
If you don't have any showmanship skills, you have no right to be on a stage. Go fuck yourself.
My first concert ever was Kiss. So that was like, yeah, that was a big one that kind of just sent me down the path of the huge arena shows. And
you know who's a great band that has a shit show? And people are going to fucking get pissed that I'm going to say this. But Alkaline Trio. Great band. Love your albums. Matt Skiba, you sang on one of my songs. Most boring motherfuckers I've ever seen live.
I'll be damned.
Yep.
There was one concert that I saw that's gonna blow people's minds. It was literally the day I met you, and it was AFI. AFI played the shittiest fucking show I've ever seen in my entire life that day.
Yeah, dude, they were known for playing shitty shows.
The whole time he's playing, he's singing and his mic's cutting out. And
Yeah.
instead of fucking going to fix the mic, he keeps throwing it at the stage and then picking it back up and trying to continue the set like it's going to fucking fix itself because you're just throwing it at the stage. And it was awful. It was one of the most...
Not how electronics work.
And then there was another one that day. It was Hello Goodbye. Back that whole auto-tune shit.
Yeah.
But it was so hot outside that their auto-tune wasn't work, so he had to sing every single song. And it was god-awful.
Oh, man.
Do you think that being in, I guess electronic band would be the broadest spectrum to put it in. Technology has kind of progressed enough to where it's easier to do that now than it was a few years back.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, just listen to the production quality on my albums. Like Hate Culture, I had a whole bunch of money to make it, but it sounds like shit sonically. You know, I mean, the songs are cool, but I didn't have the gear, and the technology has changed so much in that time that it's, you know, sounds light years better than it did back then. But it's also, the technology has changed and gotten so much better that it's way easier to rely on that kind of stuff on stage, you know?
Right.
Like that, it was really unreliable to have electronics in your music back in the day.
Right.
It's like, oh, we run the risk of it being stupid.
As far as like programmed instruments go, how are you with that? Would you rather play all of your stuff, or would you rather program drums, stuff like that?
I mean, I'd rather have it all fucking programmed like a rapper.
Right.
Honestly. I mean, it's just, nothing ever fucks up. It's always
true.
in time. Yeah, I'm not a musical purist, man, where I'm like, oh, everything's got to be live and everything has to be beautiful and that snare drum needs to be tuned. Like, dude, if I never hear live drums again, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I am good. Because drums suck, dude. Listening to a drummer bink, 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 bink for fucking 45 minutes trying to get a sound check going, bro, fuck. I never want to hear it again.
Yeah. Oh boy. Do you have any pets?
I do, yeah. We've got a bunch of cats. We got a whole bunch of cats.
Are you
five
you a cat
cats.
person? You think?
I'm not, but you know the ladies are. I have one of them that's mine. A couple of them are real weird, but whatever. I'm not a big, you know, animal guy. I'm not
Right.
Like, oh, I want to work at an animal rescue, but cats are alright.
Somebody says don't talk shit about Alkaline Trio.
Hey, I'm not talking shit. I'm not talking shit. They're a great band. They just happen to be boring live.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of, Ghost is actually one of my favorite bands right now, and their setup is fucking insane live.
Yeah.
Like,
that's that fucking.
yeah.
That band. Yeah, I think that band's pretty interesting.
Let's see. Let's see. God, chat's moving really fast.
It's because I'm so beautiful.
There it is. See, now somebody had mentioned that if they were in my situation right now, they'd be super fucking nervous to talk to someone, and I'm like, I get there for like the first 2 minutes, and then it kind of goes away.
Yeah.
That's my thing, because like the whole podcast thing that I'm trying to do right now, I'm not trying to do the same bullshit podcast that everybody else is doing, where they're not, the guest isn't on because they enjoy the guest is on because they need a fucking another podcast to put up, so they just grab somebody that a record label said needs to do press.
Yeah.
And it's just a press junket bullshit thing. But I like to actually have conversations with people and actually like enjoy a conversation because I feel like it's different from every fucking other bullshit that's out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's your favorite food?
I don't know. As I get older, I realize I can't eat everything that I used to be able to eat. So it kind of changes. My favorite food. What's my favorite food right now? I like chicken. I like chicken.
There you go. It's crazy to think, like, I mean, such simple questions when they just pop up instantly. You got to sit there and think, huh? Well.
Yeah.
Oh, what about like movies like modern horror? What do you think of modern horror?
You know what, dude? I gotta be honest. I'm not a big horror movie fan. I think they did all the horror that they could do, and I'm like,
right. Yeah. I was always a fan of like the stuff from the 30s and the 40s because it wasn't all fucking CGI and effects and everything. Like they actually had to act out the stuff properly.
Yeah. I'm just not a big horror movie. I like thrillers more than I like horror movies. I love The Shining more than I love Jason. You know?
Right. Would you say that Stephen King movies would be up there for you?
No, dude.
Not at all.
I know that people love Stephen King, and I gotta be honest, I'm not a big Stephen King fan. I did think that the It remake was really great.
Oh yeah. 100%.
The first one. The second one was wasn't as scary as the first one. I thought that was really great, but for the most part, Stephen King stories are kind of whack.
Right. The Pet Cemetery remake that came out was not good.
Yeah, it was fucking whack, and I was kind of stoked for that movie.
And from what I've seen on the internet, it was strictly because the production company had the IP for 6 more months. So they rushed a 6-month movie out as fast as they fucking could so they could make money off of it before they lost the IP.
Huh.
And that's why it fucking shit the bed so bad.
Sucks.
Ooh, what's your favorite Metallica album?
Damn, I would say... You know, I would try and be cool and maybe say like Ride the Lightning or And Justice for All. And Justice for All is pretty good. But I'll be honest, I think I like the Black Album the most. From start to finish, the Black Album has the most listenable songs. Whereas, And Justice for All is got a couple of good tracks.
I feel like the first few Metallica albums, like if you could just pick a couple out of all of them and then compile it into one, it would be a lot better because there is a lot of filler, I guess you could say, on those albums.
Filler. But the Black Album is start to finish, like every song is fucking banger, 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 banger.
What did you think of Saint Anger?
It was a piece of shit. Come on, dude. Who the fuck makes an album with that snare? You're an asshole, Bob Rock. You're an asshole, Lars. What fucking drummer listened to that fucking snare and was like, yeah, dude, that's the one, bro. No, bro, your shit sucks, and you're an asshole.
What about Load and Reload? A lot of people are like real hit and miss with those, it seems like. Yeah, that's yeah. Let's see. Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, are you going to make more Submit underwear?
Yes. When motherfuckers get back to work and start making them again. COVID has fucked all the distribution up with a lot of the blank stuff we get from Bella Canvas and Toltecs and stuff. And it's they're just kind of really behind on making the blanks. So just kind of wait till they're back to work.
Do you think that has to do with supply, or do you think that has to do with the fact that people aren't wanting to work right now?
I mean, it's less that people don't want to work. It's the fact that the government won't let them work. You know what I mean? If you have a company and you have to abide by COVID regulations, and you can only have a certain number of people in a certain size building, then you have to like cut your workforce, or you know what I mean? So it's kind of like when the government will say, yeah, open up to full capacity.
Right. The favorite song that you yourself were featured on?
That I was featured on? I don't know. I have no idea.
Let me think. What was it? What is your thoughts on the whole not having cell phones at concerts thing?
You know, dude, I honestly don't give a fuck.
Right.
If you want to pull it out and film, I don't care. If you want to stand there, I don't care. I literally don't care about anything.
Because I know, like, the Misfits especially, you had like a box that you had to put your phone in.
Huh.
And they would unlock it, like, legitimately. And
that's fucking tyranny.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's tyranny.
And it wasn't just them, I don't think, either. I think Tool might have done it too, where you have something you have to put your phone in the whole time because they don't want you to film it, which is just, it's crazy to think about.
I don't know. What are they worried about? Their soul being stolen?
I don't know.
It being put on YouTube?
It's gonna end up on YouTube regardless because someone's gonna sneak something in and they're gonna film it. It's like
who the fuck do you think you are that you're so fucking important? Like, you're out in public playing a show.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, it is Glenn Danzig. That he's kind of a dick.
I'm sure that he is. I'm sure he is. And for good reason. Can you imagine being Glenn Danzig? Imagine for 1 minute being Glenn Danzig. Imagine that life.
That's, yeah.
You start the Misfits, you do this band, everyone loves it, you fight with the fucking dudes, they sue each other, it sucks ass, you're like, fuck this band forever. You start this other band, you sell quite a lot of records, and everybody just makes fun of you because you're fucking Glenn Danzig and you're like a fucking metal troll, and you just, you know, and people take pictures of you holding cat food and just make fun of you, and you're just fucking pissed, like, you can't go out to the grocery store like he's Glenn Danzig.
Right, yeah.
I'd be pissed too, man.
What was one of your favorite music videos to film?
I hate music videos.
Really?
They all suck. They're all stupid. Every single one of them is fucking dumb. And I feel like an idiot filming it.
Really? Oh, yeah. You're not actually singing it at all? Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's torture. It's torturous. I'll do it because I know you like looking at this. But you know what? I think I'll probably say that either the "We Sleep Forever" video for Aiden, or the "Beautiful Loser" video is a lot of fun to make.
I'm about to say the "We Sleep Forever" one. That was like a bigger production type feel to it.
It was for a movie.
Right. Yeah.
It was that. What was that movie called? Dead Silence.
Yes, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah. So it was like a big budget production. It was like a movie set.
Right.
And we were like, holy shit, we're just like punk rock kids. What are we doing here?
Did they approach you guys for that, or did they approach the label for that?
That was something that was set up through the label.
Right.
Like this lady that used to work for Victory, Monica, she used to set that kind of shit up with the people, you know, in LA. Like, oh, we need a band and this kind of band for this kind of thing, and she'd be like, oh, check this band out. So she hooked us up.
I think that might be all of them. Yeah.
All right,
cool. Well, I appreciate you doing this. Like, I really do. I appreciate it. And
yeah, man.
If that's everybody's questions, yeah. All right, cool. Thanks for doing it again. I appreciate it, and have a good day.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, for sure.